highest level possible. And I want people like Joanne and Oscar. Oscar Castellino is studying in London with me. He's a Bombay boy. He's in his second year. He sang for the Queen's Diamond Jubilee in a choir. He's now doing extremely well. He's doing another project through the college early next year. He's got himself his first opera job in the summer. So these youngsters, and also the young singer Amar Muchala, who came and sang with me a few days ago, they are at a level of young international singers. They can come back, but the music has to be chosen carefully so that they're not put at a disadvantage, because like earlier this year they did Cavalleria Rusticana and I Pagliacci. Now most of the singers came from South America and Italy, and they were in their 40s or their 50s. Those are big, developed, well-used voices. You can't expect our singers to compete with that. But I feel I have to be patient, and I know if I produce the results that I am starting to produce with the singers, and I'm really thrilled because, like the Rahul Bharadwaj has come to work with me from Bangalore. Every time I'm in India, he just flies across or gets the train or he gets the bus to work with me, and he's just auditioned at the Royal College, and I, fingers crossed, have a feeling he's going to get in. So, and then there are various other people coming from other parts of India. When I go to Bombay, there's a girl coming from Calcutta to work with me. I want those sort of singers who are enthusiastic, who are prepared to work hard and sacrifice, and then I know I can get a team together and get them to perform at the highest level. What was your second question?
Goa.
Goa. My heart has always been linked with Goa because we have very strong family connections, and from a very young age we used to come to Goa once a year, twice a year, and had fantastic holidays on the beach, lovely food, very kind uncles and aunts, and my older brother continued that because he also linked up with Goa, so we come to Goa a lot. In fact, we're all celebrating Christmas this year in Goa. Goa is a tricky place because you actually have a school of music here, which they don't in Bombay. But in Bombay I've had at least 12 singers or 15 singers who's committed. For 3 years they've come 3 times a year to work with me. It's been slightly more difficult. There's good talent here. I have some young singers, but I find that, I don't know whether I come at the wrong time or whether they're at a stage where the studies are too important. But I find I have a changing group of youngsters, and it makes me sad, but I find there are 3 or 4 who have been persistent in coming regularly, and I can only hope that they will make something of their singing. We are keen to, actually the Kala Academy are really keen to connect with us, and they want us to advise them on the courses that they run. And so that we're going to get more involved with that. My only concern is that, India seems to be flavor of the month on several years actually, not just the month. And everybody wants to come to India. And I've nothing against that, but I just feel that if people come to teach in India, I would like to make sure, I'd like them to be teaching well. And making it a regular thing rather than just coming one-off to do a masterclass, have a holiday and go away. And the other thing is, I actually don't believe in some of the schools of music that everybody wants to do exams with, because I think you spend a whole year learning 2 or 3 songs, whereas we come 3 times a year, and every time we come, we're teaching the students at least 5 or 6 new pieces, and they hear what the others have learned and brought, and if they like it, they share the scores. So my idea is they must learn a vast range of pieces, operatic, song, different languages, so that they get a sense of different styles, and that will broaden it gives them more confidence when they perform. So we're very much thinking of increasing we definitely have a strong presence in Goa because we now have someone funding us. Because when we first started, we just decided to come on holiday, and we said, forget the money, whatever the students pay, will be fine. But on a long-term basis, it's got to be, to some extent, financially viable. And we've managed in Bombay and in Delhi to pick up sponsors. So, and now we have a sponsor in Goa, which I'm very, happy about. And I hope that through the sponsor as well, we will create opportunities for the singers to perform, and through our guidance, make sure that they perform at the highest level.
Yes, Amanda. Rather off topic, but then do you have any dietary restrictions? Do you follow any diet? Both ways, I mean, whether you are not supposed to drink anything with the on the rocks.
There are restrictions, but as many restrictions as there are singers who break the rules. For example, they say you shouldn't smoke if you want to sing well, and yet you have a great singer like Fischer Dieskau. On his book about his life of singing, he has a picture of himself with a cigarette in his hand. And it's true that smoking affects the throat, but maybe some people can manage. And I know male singers, when they have low voices, they say it adds a few notes at the bottom of their range, so they get a few more lower notes. A soprano, I think, is the trickiest voice. First of all, because sopranos are a dime a dozen, and so you've got tremendous competition, and you have to be at your best. You've got to find something unique. You've got to really learn to communicate well with the audiences. And there again, some sopranos drink. I don't know. I don't think many smoke. Smoking can be really bad. But I can't tolerate drink. I only drink when I'm off. When I've got a month off from singing, I might have a drink or two. But I find, actually to tell you, I was so embarrassed. The concert I just did a few days ago, the day before we were rehearsing, and I suddenly found my throat was getting caught. I was getting a coughing spasm in the rehearsal. And it was at the Kala. I've sung at the stage many times. And I suddenly realized it was the aftershave that the tenor was wearing. And I thought, oh my, because perfume can affect you badly, depending on what's in it. And you don't know until it affects you. And halfway through the rehearsal, I gathered the courage to say to him, Amar, I'm so sorry, but I would like you not to wear your perfume tomorrow.
Use that as a weapon. If you didn't like the tenor, you wear a perfume.
He may be immune to it, in which case it wouldn't, unless I knew he was, some singers won't allow flowers anywhere near them. I find, certain types of flowers, it makes your breathing, it tightens the lungs, and so you have to be careful. I can't eat spicy food. That's one thing, when I come to India, I do suffer because the chili gets me. Amar is a young lad, and he was observing me eating at the Mandavi Hotel, and he says, God, that's not hot. I said, well, I can't. I said, after all these years, my throat is so sensitive. I have to be really careful. Vinegar, chili, some things work. I can manage, but I tend to have a bland diet. The other thing is getting a good night's sleep, because if you're tired, the first thing to go is your voice. So, funnily enough, I have a student in London. She's not a very good singer, and I'm sure she would never make a career, but she's studying with me. And she came for a lesson just before I left for India. She was most upset, and I said, let's start singing, and she burst into tears. I said, what's the matter? So she started to tell me, she said, I'm not sure I can do it. I'm not sure I can stop seeing my friends, no drinking, no doing this, no doing that, just for a career. And I was like sitting and thinking, I don't think you've got any career, actually. So I had to be very careful, and I said to her, look, do it as a hobby. Do it as a hobby and do